Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Coyote in the Highlands. I wanted to talk a little bit more about that caveman thing, about dying at age 35. And, it's a response. It's kind of a meme response, you slept in perfect health. You had clean air, outdoor air, and you had unfiltered water with no fluoride, and you ate all organic meat, and then you died at age 35. It's not really the case. Now, it's sad that infant mortality was very high, and it's not a topic we can really discuss. Okay, not in a video, because there's that whole balancing act. Are we talking about survival of the fittest? Like, what actually happened with the mortality rates? But basically, infant mortality was pretty high, and that's sad. But if you look at it in livestock terms, okay, and I'm not trying to say humans are livestock, but if you look at mammal breeding and what the rates of death are, a decent animal husbandry person, like a decent livestock keeper, goats for example, you expect to lose about 10%. That's and it may be a little bit higher if you're developing a line, if you're trying to work with improving genetic stock. And again, I'm not suggesting that humans go through this at all, or that humans should go through this or engage in this practice at all. But that's kind of a natural, even that is improved over nature. That's what you lose. That's a huge infant mortality rate. So when people say age 35, what they're talking about is counting infant deaths, counting deaths in childbirth, and then counting all the deaths from accident. Very little was actually disease pre-agriculture. Disease wasn't really the biggest killer for young people, but accident was. If you made it to age 15, your expectation, your average, the mean, not average, but your mean was actually going to be median age of in the 60s or 70s, possibly a little bit longer. That's quite the life expectancy, okay? Basically, you weren't likely to die at age 30 or 35. If you did, it would have been probably some sort of violence or conflict or a hunting mistake. It wasn't disease. And you could live way longer. Surprisingly, the average adult age of death did drop significantly, massively, with the invention of agriculture. In fact, agriculture really, really damaged adult human lifespans significantly in a way that it's actually closer to that whole idea of average age of 35 is after you invent settlement agriculture, which again is still a fantastic thing, and we're about to get to the technological and social point where we can get past all the negatives and get into the positives of settlement agriculture. I hope. Maybe. I'm still going to eat meat. Mostly meat. All meat, in fact. Right now I'm on an autoimmune protocol, and it's all meat, and it's fantastic. Anyway, that idea that the idea of the meme, and this is a little difficult to actually wrap heads around, the idea of the meme appears to be to make fun of, poke fun of, or actually to dissuade people from healthy lifestyles, from being outdoors, from being active, from engaging in wanting purity of water and food or clean air, because, it was actually a worse life than it is now. And that's very much a manufacture of a certain kind of bias. It's not true. But the idea of the meme is to snark at health. And that's the problem I'm having. There's so much of that in the internet world, the modern world, the rational world, the argumentation world, the reference world of academic references, that the idea is to try to remove the positivity of something because it's uncomfortable for one person or because one person does not want to engage in a behavior. I don't want to go to the gym, so I'm going to snark at all the people who do go to the gym and tell them that they're going to kill themselves because they're lowbrow cavemen. Like, I'm more intelligent than you. There's an elitism to this. And it's very false. And it has, you see, it comes from the wrong place. It comes from the wrong basis. It's not about building people up or accepting people or accepting yourself or trying to improve yourself, humanity. There's no positive aspect to this. You know, it's not even a self-defense mechanism. There's no positive aspect to this. And that is a big deal. I want to stress that that is a really big deal. If your arguments rely solely on negatives and have no positive aspect, there's no benefit to you or to others, then they're suspect. They're morally suspect, but they're also suspect in terms of your own mental health. Do your arguments have a positive value? You know, we know that the caveman meme, which I posted on Twitter a couple days ago, we know that the caveman meme is wrong. Okay, we know that it's wrong. But the idea of the meme is to shit on other people and other people's point of view without examining it. And that's bad. That's bad for your health. That's bad for your mental health. It's also bad for your physical health. Like, it all goes together. So what I want from you is to avoid doing that and see if you can find positive arguments. I've done this in the past. I've done videos on this. Like, do you propose solutions or do you propose problems? And that's really key to this. I think, wow, that is a huge carpenter bee just floating in my little shade structure here. That stinger was like that long hanging out the back. Pretty cool. So are you proposing solutions? Are you solution oriented? If there's a problem, are you enjoyment oriented? Are you creating problems? You know, don't do that. Don't do that. The idea is to promote an increase in humanity, what Buckminster Fuller called livingry, humanity, and, you know, niceness, community. And this goes for all of you on the prepper side of my channel as well, and the homesteader side. You can have all of your grumpy, hermit-like distrust of other people, but try to spread something positive. That's the best thing. It's the best thing you can do as a prepper, is to have a good attitude anyway, because that's always necessary if things go a little bit sideways. And I still suspect that we're going to have some really rough spots getting to our, you know, space age clean utopian world. We're definitely going to have some pretty big speed bumps. You need to maintain a decent attitude, a decent positivity, and you need to solve problems instead of making the most of them or making problems out of nothing. And that's where we're going with this. So I take a look at a meme like that, and I'll argue with the meme, and I'll engage with it a little bit. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just say that's not part of my world. That's a valid response. But when you look at this stuff, when you do this stuff, when you engage, are you creating a solution, or are you just pissing on people and making problems? Ask yourself that question periodically. And, you know, don't be too hard on yourself. This isn't like a big judgment thing. Just change the habits. If you don't tend to have a lot of positive aspects to that, change the habits. You don't always have to say something. If there's nothing positive to say, it's probably time for you to walk away. You know, not a danger to yourself or anything physical, you know, whatever. But especially a conversation online, just walk away. You know, there's nothing to be gained for you or anyone else. So positive responses, positive results. That's all I got. Stay sideways.